Changes in reading habits. What are the implications of the way we read today? Pacifier. Meaning, a pacifier is a rubber, plastic, or silicone nipple substitute given to an infant to suckle upon between feedings to quiet. The iPad is the new pacifier for babies and toddlers. Hunch over. Meaning, leaning forward with your shoulders raised, or bending your back and shoulders into a rounded shape. Younger school-aged children read stories on smartphones, older kids don't read at all, but hunch over video games. Skim a flotilla of email. Meaning, go or move quickly over a steady flow of emails. Parents and other passengers read on tablets or skim a flotilla of email and news feeds. Unbeknown. Meaning, without the knowledge of someone. Unbeknown to most of us, an invisible, game-changing transformation links everyone in this picture. Subtly. Meaning, in a manner that is so delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. The neuronal circuit that underlies the brain's ability to read is subtly, rapidly changing, and this has implications for everyone from the pre-reading toddler to the expert adult. Circuit. Synonyms: lap, turn, tour, round, circle, orbit. As work in neurosciences indicates, the acquisition of literacy necessitated a new circuit in our species' brain more than 6,000 years ago. Decode. Meaning, to understand. Synonyms: comprehend, explain, grasp, throw light on, solve. That circuit evolved from a very simple mechanism for decoding basic information, like the number of goats in one's herd, to the present, highly elaborated reading brain. Elaborate. Meaning, develop in detail. That circuit evolved from a very simple mechanism for decoding basic information, like the number of goats in one's herd, to the present, highly elaborated reading brain. Internalized knowledge, to accept or absorb an idea, opinion, belief, etc. so that it becomes part of your character. Analogical reasoning, using the underlying structure of one situation or event to understand another situation and event. Inference, a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. Perspective taking, the act of perceiving a situation or understanding a concept from an alternative point of view, such as that of another individual. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. My research depicts how the present reading brain enables the development of some of our most important intellectual and affective processes: internalized knowledge, analogical reasoning and inference, perspective taking and empathy, critical analysis and the generation of insight. Critical analysis, the detailed examination and evaluation of another person's ideas or work. Generation of insight, insights reveal behaviors or phenomena and point to solutions or ideas. My research depicts how the present reading brain enables the development of some of our most important intellectual and affective processes: internalized knowledge, analogical reasoning and inference, perspective taking and empathy, critical analysis and the generation of insight. Surfacing. Meaning, coming up, rise. Research surfacing in many parts of the world now cautions that each of these essential deep reading processes may be under threat as we move into digital-based modes of reading. Binary. Meaning, involving two things. This is not a simple, binary issue of print versus digital reading and technological innovations. Make a mistake. Disrupt, interrupt a process by causing a disturbance or problem. As MIT scholar Sherry Toefl has written, we do not err as a society when we innovate but when we ignore what we disrupt or diminish while innovating. Hinge moment, the moment acting about the hinge line of a control surface that must be overcome to move the control surface when a pilot exerts force command on the control stick. In this hinge moment between print and digital cultures, society needs to confront what is diminishing in the expert reading circuit, what our children and older students are not developing, and what we can do about it. Blueprint. Meaning, plan or model. Synonyms: plan, design, draft, outline, sketch, pattern, layout, representation. We know from research that the reading circuit is not given to human beings through a genetic blueprint like vision or language, it needs an environment to develop. Bear this out. Meaning, to show to be true or truthful, confirm. Increasing reports from educators and from researchers in psychology and the humanities bear this out. Cognitive impatience. Meaning, the inability to pay attention during the time necessary to understand the complexity of a thought or argument. We should be less concerned with students' cognitive impatience, however, than by what may underlie it, the potential inability of large numbers of students to read with a level of critical analysis sufficient to comprehend the complexity of thought and argument found in more demanding texts. Comprehend. Meaning, grasp mentally, understand. In Stavanger, Norway, psychologist Anne Mangen and colleagues studied how high school students comprehend the same material in different mediums. Synonyms: understand, grasp, apprehend, follow. Sequencing. Meaning, the skill that we use when we break down an event into simple steps and put those steps in order. Results indicated that students who read on print were superior in their comprehension to screen reading peers, particularly in their ability to sequence detail and reconstruct the plot in chronological order. Norm. Meaning, something that is standard. Ziming Liu from San Jose State University has conducted a series of studies which indicate that the new norm in reading is skimming, involving word spotting and browsing through the text. Skimming. Meaning, reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of the material. Ziming Liu from San Jose State University has conducted a series of studies which indicate that the new norm in reading is skimming, involving word spotting and browsing through the text. Synonyms: standard, usual, normal, typical, the rule. Atrophy. Meaning, gradually decline in effectiveness or vigor due to undue ruse or neglect. The subtle atrophy of critical analysis and empathy affects us all equally. Synonyms: deteriorate, decline, fade, give up. Antonyms: flourish. Navigate. Meaning, to progress through something in a logical sequence. It affects our ability to navigate a constant bombardment of information. Bombardment of information. Meaning, a situation in which someone gets a lot of information to deal with. It affects our ability to navigate a constant bombardment of information. Incentivize. Meaning, provide encouragement. It incentivizes a retreat to the most familiar stores of unchecked information, which require and receive no analysis, leaving us susceptible to false information and irrational ideas. Synonyms: encourage, prompt, kindle, arouse, excite, ginger up, spirit someone up. Antonyms: discourage. Retreat. Meaning, an act of moving back or withdrawing. It incentivizes a retreat to the most familiar stores of unchecked information, which require and receive no analysis, leaving us susceptible to false information and irrational ideas. Susceptible. Meaning, likely or liable to be influenced or harmed by a particular thing. It incentivizes a retreat to the most familiar stores of unchecked information, which require and receive no analysis, leaving us susceptible to false information and irrational ideas. Synonyms: open to, in danger of, vulnerable to, prone to, subject to, at risk of. Redress the changes. Meaning, to make up for or compensate. We possess both the science and the technology to identify and redress the changes in how we read before they become entrenched.